What's up? A flat cat in the house. Good morning. It is 3:45 in the PM. Ugh, so hardly morning for us in the Earl world. But it's good to see some old school regulars in here. Oh, excuse me about that. Just watching the LA Kings beat the Edmonton Oilers 3-0. Kings are only 2 points out of first place now. But the Oilers did not have McDavid, Draisaitl, Ekholm, and someone else. So, but you got to play the games. It's not the Kings' fault that the Oilers had their best players missing. So, and then we got the Seattle Kraken Monday night. So the Kings are looking good. Looking good. Shout out to Alexander Ovechkin for tying Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record. You guys continually like the side view, so we'll give you the side view. Let me work on the background lighting here. I've started doing TikTok lives. I don't like TikTok, man. I don't get anyone to watch my lives on TikTok, so thank you to my loyal YouTube soldiers. You give me a reason to keep on keeping on. So hope, well, of course, Shandy Girls Saturday night is already over. Or maybe it's just ending. But for the rest of you, in whatever part of the world you are in, I hope that you guys have a good Saturday night. I'm at the Comedy Store tonight. I mean, I've tried to get my TikTok live going because I hear, like on YouTube, that TikTok live is the best way to get your channel to grow. I mean, I literally just did a 10-minute TikTok live. 2 people were in it, and no one talks on TikTok live. So, yeah, 100%, 100%. But, I still have to be on it, Moses, so, but I'm definitely going to concentrate more on YouTube. It just, I don't know. I just vibe better with TikTok, or I'm sorry, YouTube than I do TikTok. So I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. And we'll figure it out together on YouTube. I love Saturday afternoons. It's all day hockey. From the time I wake up, I mean, I'm too old for TikTok, my ex-girlfriend is very proficient on TikTok. She was always trying to get me into it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't find TikTok videos funny. I've never seen a TikTok video where like, oh my god, that's funny. Um, what up, Chicksy? But everyone has their different, social media outlets that they thrive under. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, it's absolutely for kids. Yeah, absolutely. What up, Ross? But I do see some videos that are 80s metal related. Like there's this one girl, she lip syncs to Rat songs, and she's really funny. So good for the the Cubbies. Um, yes, I am the ruler of LA, and we might do a walk and talk later. Shout at the devil. Ole Bonafide, that's a mighty fine comb you got there. You should use it to brush one of your bitches. Uh, Bumba Clot in the house. Always a pleasure to see you in the stream. I mean, Rad, if you listen to their greatest hits album, I think it's 8191. There's really not a bad song on it. I mean, there's a couple Desmond Child songs that, um, some hardcore Rat fans might not like, but you can't really blame Rat for bringing in Desmond Child to kind of give them some Bon Jovi-esque songs. I had no idea the old black guy who gets killed, or who kills the leader at the end of Blood In, Blood Out. When they were in the prison cell next to each other, and he shanks him with that brush. That's the same guy who got rerun to record the Doobie Brothers concert. I mean, Rat should have been bigger, but I'm not sure if they were the best live. In terms of their performance. I mean, they had a real nice run with Out of the Cellar, and then with each album, I think other bands. Yeah. What was his name? I think Theodore Wilson was the actor's name. He was. I never put it together that he was the guy who had rerun illegally record the Doobie Brothers concert. So shout out to Theodore Wilson. Yes, I mean, what up, Furbo, in the house? So right now the LA Kings have 97 points. Vegas Golden Knights have 98. Vegas has one more game. St. Louis is coming on like a banshee. Of course, Calgary and Vancouver are 5 out of the last wild card spot, 89 points. The East is wild right now. You've got like 5 teams fighting for the last 2 spots. So, fun time to be a hockey fan. Although a nerve-wracking time to be a hockey fan of, say, the Rangers, who lost again today, and they're still 2 points out. So they're not out of it. Columbus is in the mix. So it's going to be a fun remaining 2 weeks of the season. And then the playoffs are awesome. Especially the first round, because it's like 4 games every day for like the first week and a half. And it's intense. You see guys not fighting, they don't really fight anymore in hockey, but you see guys who normally wouldn't get involved. I mean, it's an awesome time to be a hockey fan. By the way, speaking of, I almost said stand-up fan. It is a good time to be a stand-up fan. I'll be at the Comedy Store tonight, 12:15. In what is known as the Kinnison Holtzman Brody Tripoli spot. Come on down if you're in the local Los Angeles area. And, we'll keep this stream nice and tight. We'll do about a half-hour stream right now, and then we'll do another stream later, maybe after I get home from the gym and work on my already fabulous body. So, there you go. That's my game plan for the rest of the night. It's almost 4 p.m. in California. I'll probably take a little cat nap. You up on stage. It's just a snapshot of this right now. Yes. Yeah, hit the like and subscribe button, please. Yeah, I mean, I'm much better live. Well, you'd have... Well, no, I don't want you guys reaching out to her, but... yeah. You go from fine dining to drive-through dining when you leave me. Trust me on that one. The grass ain't greener. EA Sports. It's in the game. Permaseal Finishing, $9.99. Keep it tight, Earl. It ain't tight after I'm done with it. You think it's greener. And maybe it is for the first couple weeks. But then, not so much. What up, Gavin? What up, Ryan? Boom! Shakalaka. Thank you, Permaseal, very much. Well, Permaseal gets the big ones. It's Permaseal and monoxide poisoning. I believe he's from the UK. He gets some extra love. We dated 3.5 years. Earl, did you get the manager who's... Yes, I did. I did, Gavin House. I did. I am officially signed with them. I can't say with who because I know some trolls would reach out, and it's the one thing I don't like about the internet. You got to be a little private with some stuff. Do you yes, I do honestly think that, Moses. Long term. Now, you might find someone younger than me, which is going to be pretty much anybody, but they're not going to be me. Might be fun physically for a couple weeks, new dick, just like it is for a guy, new pussy. But that fades after a couple weeks, and then it's like, oh, okay, now that the initial excitement rush is over of new dick or new pussy for me, they ain't Earl. Well, thank you, Chick, for telling me that. No, I just like being healthy. No, I probably don't need to lift as heavy as I do now. Like today is chest day for me, so I will try and... I have a weird way of how I work out now. I don't work out nearly as long as I used to. I try and do 110-pound dumbbell bench presses, and I just try to get to 10 reps. So maybe the first set I can only do 2. So I'll try to do 5 sets of 2. Now last week, for whatever reason, I was feeling it. So my first set I did 6 reps at 110-pound dumbbells. And then the next set I did 5. So I did 2 sets because I hit my goal of 10 reps. I just want to look good. That's all. DV. Okay. Thank you for that. And then I like yoga. I'm horrible at yoga. I get very discouraged in yoga class because I'm absolutely the worst one in my studio. But it actually makes my stand up easier because, like, if I can be, you're basically in yoga, you're in your fucking underwear. I mean, girls are in short shorts and a sports bra. Guys are in shorts. I do it in my like running underwear. So I figure if I could do that in front of all these people, that my stand up, which I'm actually good at, that's easy breezy. Um, I mean, well, I'm one of the few straight guys in the class. I might be the only straight guy, at least in the classes I take. So, but it's not really creepy in yoga. I mean, you think it would be, but everyone's trying to cleanse out of their minds and bodies whatever they're going through. So no one really has time to be creepy. What up, Eddie Siciliano? Stugats. Um, so I enjoy it. Plus, it's a great sweat. I mean, literally 2 minutes into class, you're sweating. What's the age you wanting to live up to? I mean, I don't have an age. If you say, well, I want to live to 80, and then you get to 80, and you're like, okay, I still feel pretty good. I want to live until I can't have a quality of life. Like when my dad died, I don't deal with psychos. I blow them away. My dad toward the end was not having a quality of life. He needed help going to the restroom, and my mom, same thing. She had about 12,000 forms of cancer, and it just wasn't living. You're dead, but you're alive. I don't want to live like that. Yeah, pretty much. I'm like the one heavyset guy who pulled Olivia Newton-John at the end of the video, just because that guy stuck it out. I don't think you want to go out like Piper, but I get what you're saying. So, I mean, I could see in 100 years from now people living to 100, and that's the standard. I mean, with all the advances in modern medicine. I mean, I look at yeah, but he was pretty fucked up toward the end. I mean, the last phone call, which I have saved, he was not all there. I don't want to be like that either. But yeah, if I had a choice to die in my sleep or say die in a plane crash, I would die in my sleep. I mean, dying in a plane crash has to be the worst way to go. Like, that final minute of your life, you're dying. No one survives a plane crash. And I'm talking a plane crash when you're up 30, 40,000 feet in the air and you're going down. You're like, yikes. And you got to feel bad for the pilots because they see it. Like, if you're on an airplane in first class or coach or business, you don't see what's happening. The pilots, like, they see it. Hey, what do you think of all the insanity of what? So, what's not true, Johnny Ray Gunn? I don't mind flying. I used to have a horrible fear of it, but I mean, whatever helps you. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, say if a plane's going vertical down like that, the pilots directly see where they're about to be buried. Whereas, yeah, I mean, you can look out the window and go, okay, I don't think this is how the plane should be moving. So, well, it is though. The pilots directly, like, they have the front view of the action. Like, you could like if the plane's going vertical, like where's my giant robot doll? Let's say this is an airplane. He got a little jetpack on it, and he's flying like this. And for whatever reason, the plane starts going like that. The pilots are the only one who could look out at the front window. Like, You could be sitting on the side seat right here and go, "Yeah, I don't think this is good." But it has to be a bit extra for the pilots to directly see. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty impressive what Captain Sully did. I don't know, man. I think mentally the plane crash would, if I could pick a way not to die. Does Chandler only fly first class? Not anymore. Got to book those Alabama flights sitting back of the plane with the pores. Um, I mean, the odds of being in a plane crash are incredibly low. What up, Johnny Lamb? Uh, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I would like be attacked by monkeys, but at least you got a chance. You know, you could beat the shit out of a few monkeys and scare the others off. You ain't surviving a plane crash. You know, I'm still blown away we never found MH370. Well, you know, listen, I don't know what she's eating, but I don't know. Like I said, since the day she snuck out. Oh, did I say snuck out? I mean moved out. I've never gone on her Instagram once. So I don't. I mean, the only reason I know she's in New York is that people were telling me. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with Joe there. Oh, monkeys have incredible strength. Um, well, you know, Moses, I think you're missing the point. You know, she used to fly first class. Not anymore. The plan for tonight is to go to the Comedy Store, Gina Babina, and tell jokes for about 45 minutes to an hour. I am Karmic X. Thank you very much. And then go in the back VIP bar and hang out. And if anyone is in the LA area right now, come on to the Comedy Store tonight. Well, you know, when they were doing the Clint Eastwood movies, you know, with the Clyde the orangutan, Clyde got so strong and bigger from the first to the sequel, they had to get another orangutan. Well, Moses, I understand what you're saying. What would be the odds he does jujitsu now? He might do jujitsu now, but um, he would not do well. I would knock him out cold with one punch. Um, I mean, Moses, I'm kind of kidding when I call people in the back of the plane the pores. The point is, when you fly with Earl, you fly first class. Anyone else, you fly coach, baby doll. Um, the great Martin Briley. I love that's the best breakup song ever. Everyone, if you're going through a tough breakup, listen to the Martin Briley song "Salt in My Tears." I never did it. No, I won't admit it. Why should I lie for you anymore? You never loved me. You pushed and shoved me. I see the woman I never saw. I saw you laugh when the knife was twisted. It still hurts, but the pain has shifted. Here's the best part. The next chorus is, you never loved me, you pushed and shoved me. You need a shoulder to lean upon. Maybe you picked 'em, found your next victim. Don't worry, someone will come along. I mean, that is like I did he write that about me and Chandler? Um, yeah, and the drummer, didn't Artemis Pyle survive? I don't know much about the Skinner plane crash. I mean, just the bodyguard and Moses. You don't get it, man. I'm kidding. I'm a comic. Don't take it so personally. I mean, I'm poor. You know, if you compare me to Elon Musk, I'm a poor. Yes, show me the money, honey, if you want some. Uh, you know, I'm like Ric Flair. You know, all Ric Flair did was talk about how rich he is. He's just, you know, he was just kidding around. Yeah, there's a good movie about that. They had to turn into cannibals. Well, I mean, you got a chance if you know, if the plane is going like this, you ain't surviving. But if the plane's gonna crash into the snow like this, you got a shot. You're probably gonna be fucked up, but you got a shot. Um, Bobby Heenan was the best. Um, Let me see. Do you think Hinchlif's fame will last, or will it become like Amy Schumer? Um, I mean, who knows? You know, I mean, I think that I don't necessarily know. I mean, I think Kill Tony. I mean, it's big now. There's no doubt about that. But I think people are going to tire of it pretty fast. I mean, listen, it's playing arenas right now. I think they're playing the Nashville Arena tonight, where the Predators play. But I just don't know long term, like in 3 to 4 years, 2 to 3 years. Um, you know, if the show has long term visibility, I mean, there will always be a new group of open mic comics who think it's their shot. Um, but I was around, with Roast Battle. When Roast Battle, the first season was magical. I mean, we fucking killed it. I should say I did, but and then the second season wasn't quite as good, and then the third season was awful. So I think once you get rid of this original cast of Kill Tony, like the comics will move on, and the William Montgomerys and whatnot. Well, you're gonna have to find a new William Montgomery or Hans Kim, and I just think it'll get old pretty fast. But they'll worry about that when it happens, I guess. I never met Bobby Heenan. Well, I am taking a stand. I was asked, do I think Hinchcliffe will have long-term success? I don't know. I mean, comedy is, it's weird, man. When people turn on you, you're finished. Um, well, I don't know about that, Moses. I don't know about the inner workings of Tony and the Comedy Store. But it's the old hacky saying: "What goes up goes down." And I think that I mean, Tony is certainly very successful right now. I mean, he's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So, like, I know when that thing happened at the political rally, I must have had literally 50 messages from 50 different comics going, "Isn't this great?" So he got a lot of people rooting against him. So, oh, what do you mean it's going to the mothership? On a full-time basis? I don't know. I mean, I don't keep up with Roast Battle anymore. Uh, I love the Mossad. I'm a fan of how they operate because that's how I operate. I'll always get my revenge. So yeah, but they've already done roast battle at the mothership a bunch. And it's probably good to do it there because then you could get the people who didn't get picked on Kill Tony. I mean, the prime of roast battle is long gone. I mean, roast battle might be the only show that's ever jumped the shark on season one. I don't know, SC. I don't. Uh, I mean, I don't keep up with the show, so I don't know if oh, is today the Santa Anita Derby? But give me 100 on Bigers. Uh, well, I think Tony's the perfect host for it. I mean, Tony is a wrestling heel, and I mean, I never had fun doing the show because I never, I'm very much a macho guy when it comes to roasting. I don't do Zoom roast battles. If I got something bad to say, I'll say it to your face. We'll be in the same room. And I think that I don't find it very skillful to shit on an open mic level comic who can't fire back at me. Um, and you've got, the band, you've got Tony, you've got Red Band, a soundboard full of thousands of sound effects, 2 to 3 celebrity judges. I mean, it's basically a gang bullying. So she's up there. I mean, yeah, I mean, George Steele was not the George Steele we saw in the ring eating the turnbuckle. Um, yeah, I mean, I just don't, that's why, like, the last few times I did it, I actually tried to give comedy advice. Like, hey, you should do that joke this way. And, when I was doing it, most of the comics couldn't even do 1 minute. They would tell a joke for like 30 seconds and then bumble and stumble around. Um, well, I don't know if I would agree with that, Gavin. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of great New York comics: Mike Lawrence, Mark Norman, Bonnie McFarlane, but there's just as many out here in LA. I mean, I think New York's a better comedy town because you can literally do, 5 to 6 shows a night and walk to them all and get paid for them all. You can't do that in LA. Um, so, but I'm sure New York comics would say we're better, but then they all come out to LA at some point. So if New York was really that much better, you stay in New York. Um, I don't really. I mean, I would go on Legion of Skanks, but I don't operate well when it's like 3 or 4 people, and then you got to fight for your lines, and you know, I'm not gonna. You know, I mean, I love Lewis and I love Zach, but I'm not a fan of the gang mentality that Kill Tony and Legion of Skanks have. I mean, he's definitely in consideration for the GOAT. Him, Chappelle, Chris Rock, Lenny Bruce. Kip, I probably won't listen to it. I don't listen to other people's podcasts, but yeah, I mean, I've never met Dan Soder. Like, I would talk wrestling with those guys, but I think they'd probably bring up roast battle and why do you dislike Jeff, and then they'd stick up for him, and just like I no. But if they want, I'm going to assume if they wanted me on, they would have had me on by now. So I mean, I love them both. Although I've never met Dan Soder, so it's good to know he's a wrestling fan. I was always a WCW guy. So, yeah, I love Big J. But, you go on Legion of Skanks, you got to kind of be like, I don't want to be a fourth mic. You got Zach, Lewis, Jay, and Dan Soder. So, I'm already fifth in the pecking order. So I in general don't operate well. And that's if I'm the only guest. If they have someone else like Brian Moses or whoever, then I'm like the sixth mic, and I'm not going to fight for lines. So yeah, you got that. So it's like with Corolla, I struggled a little bit because there was a co-host, and then there was the people in the booth. But I found out my timing, but I'd rather be one on one. Because I can talk for more than myself. So I would love to be like on Santino and Bobby Lee's podcast because I think that would be good. Or Theo Vaughn at one on one because Theo's a goofball. I'm a goofball. I think it would be funny. I won't be hitting Boston anytime soon. But yeah, if I ever, it's one of my goals to play the Wilbur Theater, which I think once you get on TV a bit more than I am now, I think playing the Wilbur Theater would be an attainable goal. So, fingers crossed. And if I'm ever in Boston, come as my guest. Yeah, but see, when they're doing bits like that, Kip, like I'd just be sitting there fake laughing, and I hate shit like that. I'd much rather be one on one, and like me and Theo, I think that would be a really funny interaction because we've always gotten along and made each other laugh. Same thing with Santino and Bobby Lee. I think Rogan would obviously be a super fun interview because we could not just talk about comedy and roast battle, but politics and just growing up in the neighborhood I grew up in. I mean, how many people can say their neighbor was Sylvester Stallone and O.J. Simpson? So I think that's what kind of separates me from a lot of podcast guests is that I don't have that typical stand-up background. Yes, Sylvester Stallone was my neighbor when he was living with Susan Anton, that really hot blonde actress. And then I think he either bought the house from Victoria Vanderbilt or sold the house to Victoria Vanderbilt, Anderson Cooper's mom. So, yes, 100%. I survived. OJ was cool to me. He used to throw me the football when I was a kid. He'd be like, "Hey, Earl, what's up?" I'm like, "What up, Juice?" Harry Nielsen was my neighbor. Fat Elvis was my neighbor, right before he died. Yeah, 100%. You got to give Sly that. He is self-made. Hey, hit the like and subscribe button, please. It helps Daddy break the algorithm. I'm trying to think who else. James Caan was my neighbor. The blonde actress Elke Summer was my neighbor. Barry Manilow was my neighbor. So it's just a weird upbringing to be in. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, absolutely. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, I'm sure Stella Stevens was my neighbor. If you remember who she was. So, whose have you worked with famous? I was not neighbors with Liberace and Richard Simmons. I mean, I've worked with David Spade, Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, Jimmy Carr. You know, I mean, it is weird, like to know that many celebrities could be your neighbors in such a small area. Harry Nielsen, who was one of maybe the most preeminent songwriters of the '70s. Who's the most famous that I've ever worked with? I mean, I guess Rob Schneider when you think about it. I mean, he's been on TV, movies, stand-up star. At one point was the biggest comedy actor in the world for a quickie. That Deuce Bigelow era, he was pretty big. And I mean, yeah, I guess I did work with Jim Carrey on I'm Dying Up Here. He was an executive producer, but I never saw him on the set, to be frank. Um, yeah, I mean, the West Village, you're absolutely going to have. Well, I mean, yeah, overall, I'd say Sandler was bigger, but Rob had that time frame when he was in Deuce Bigelow where he was the guy. I mean, he was the guy that Sandler was in his movies, and then Sandler just had that string of hits. My favorite Val Kilmer movie, I have three, and not in this order, but I will say Real Genius, Top Secret, and Heat. Um, I mean, yeah, Rob in that time period had Deuce Bigelow 2, The Animal, The Hot Chick, and then he kind of had a dip, and then he started doing stand up. Yeah, I'm Dying Up Here did deserve a lot more. I think the problem with I'm Dying Up Here, those are good movies, Gavin, and I think it was just marketed poorly. Because I think a lot of people would complain to me that it wasn't funny. It's like, well, it's not supposed to be funny. Stand-up comedy is a fucking brutal business. It's a sad business. There's a lot of suicide in it. There's a lot of death and jealousy and bitterness and anger. So it's not supposed to be. It wasn't a sitcom. It was essentially a documentary about 70s comedy. So yeah, there's drugs. There's, you know, you got to deal with all kinds of stuff that most people don't have to deal with in their life. Um, if you break up with someone, you got to see them dating a friend of yours or fucking, stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, it just, in the marketing, even like the billboard, if you remember the I'm Dying Up Here billboards, it was a comic collapsed at the bottom of a mic stand. And it's like, what does that mean? Like, to the general public, it's like, okay, is this funny? Is this a drama? I mean, when you look at the cast, um, you know, it was an amazing cast. I mean, Melissa Leo had won an Oscar. You had, legendary improv comics like Rick Overton, who's like amazing, and Alfred Molina was in an episode or two, and Brad Garrett. I mean, it was a great cast. Jake Lacey, who's probably the most in-demand young actor going right now. Um, just the first season our lead-in was Twin Peaks, and it didn't really seem to help, and then the second season, which no one thought we were going to get a second season, but probably because of the Jim Carrey association, Showtime, I'm sure, wanted to, keep it good with him. And our lead in was, I think, Ray Donovan, which was like their number one show. So it just didn't, I don't know. Just goes into one of those 1 or 2 season shows that should have been bigger. I mean, the writing was great. Eric Griffin, the comics were all good actors. Eric Griffin, Santino, Al Madrigal. It's just, Brad Garrett. I thought Brad Garrett should have won an Emmy. Joey Diaz was in it. Like, it's just, I don't know. Some shows just don't catch on. I mean, I know I would have been in it a lot more. Clark Duke was great. Michael Oregano was great. I would have been in it a lot more in season 3 because the writers loved me. So, I mean, they had Dave Flabat had written a scene where R.A. Grainer's character Cassie is so desperate she fucks me. So that would have been a fun scene to do. Um, that's how. But the network told them we don't want her getting passed around like that. But that's how comics were in the '70s. You talk about the Me Too era now, forget about it. Back then, it was out of control. Favorite show as a kid, no doubt about it. White Shadow. Um, oh, I haven't. Let's now. Someone now. I'll turn the sound down. Someone told me that. The Naked Gun remake is on, the trailer's on YouTube. Now I'll turn the sound down so I don't get dinged. What comedic actors do you think don't deserve it? What do you mean, don't deserve what? Like, give me an example. Hold on. Naked Gun remake. Okay, the official. It's only a minute and 2 seconds, so I'm going to do it with the sound off. Well, actually, hold on. I'm going to mute the sound in here. Hold on. All right, that's pretty funny. I mean, but, it also might be, it's a horrible movie, but, the trailer's just the funniest parts. Um, that was, well, they kind of did where all the sons are paying tribute to their father, like Liam Neeson is Leslie Nielsen's son, and the guy from Karate Kid is George Kennedy's son, and then they go to OJ's son, and he just looks into the camera, like, that's pretty funny. Um, well, Liam Neeson, and I think Liam Neeson drinks a lot, so I absolutely think OJ did it. This was a crime of passion. It wasn't Colombian drug dealers. I know drug dealers. I'm not bragging about that, but I think that drug dealers don't kill you if you owe them money because they know if they kill you, they don't get the money back. I think personally, what happened was he was stalking her. I think he was probably at Mezzaluna outside that night. I think she went home. He looked into the windows. And he saw Nicole lighting candles. And we all know if you're a woman and you're lighting candles and you're in the black negligee, you're fucking someone that night. I think he saw that. Now, whether she was about to fuck Ron Goldman or not, I don't know. You could say, well, she left the glasses there on purpose so he could have to bring them back. And Ron Goldman was just, if she wasn't going to fuck Ron Goldman, then that's just awful timing. Getting back to what comic actors don't deserve it. Sorry, I forgot your question. Who asked that question? I'll go back. Yeah, I mean, OJ's blood was everywhere but in his own body that night. Let me see. Oh, Gavin. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really. No one really comes to mind. Like, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't think Amy Schumer's that funny. But so I guess if you put a gun to my head, I would say her. I don't think Chris Kattan is funny, but he's a nice guy. I met him. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, I mean, he's never made me laugh, but I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. So my point about OJ was, I just think he lost his mind. I mean, let's be honest. He had hit her before. He had anger issues. His blood was everywhere but in his own body that night. And, are there dirty cops in LA? Absolutely, there's dirty cops. But if you know anything about the cops, most cops played football at some level. So OJ was idolized by those guys. Um, so I don't believe the cops in the middle of the night got together and said, "Hey, let's get OJ," because I think the cops were called to OJ's house like 20 times and never arrested him. And if that was you or me, we'd be arrested on the first time. So there's just never been a alternative theory that's made me go, okay, it could be this person. Waiver $2. Ray DeVito, judges Ito. Ray Ito, Judge Ito equals Ray DeVito. Thank you, Waiver. And there's some people who think the Sun did it. I don't think the Sun had um, the motive to chop off her head. I mean, I know a cop I used to play hockey with, and he told me he was there at the crime scene, and like he turned white just even talking about it. And this guy was like 6'5", 250. I mean, maybe the most macho man I've ever met in my life. Whoever wanted, whoever killed Nicole wanted her to feel it. And OJ is really the only one to have that motive. Like I said, I mean, the only other theory was it was drug dealers, but drug dealers are not going to kill someone that owes them money. So, and you know what? And let's say he was innocent, which I don't believe he was. Uh, well, that's certainly an acceptable theory, Moses. Um, I can only say if someone killed an ex-girlfriend of mine or a current girlfriend, I would spend every breathing moment I had looking for the real killers. I wouldn't be out playing fucking golf. So I think that right there told me he did it. He never searched for the real killers one day in his life. Um, and he acted like someone who got away with murder. I mean, if you're an innocent man, and most people think you killed your wife, are you going to write a book called If I Did It? Like, come on, man. And yes, African Americans have been fucked by the legal system. Absolutely. This was not one of those times. Um, yeah, I mean, she definitely wasn't banging up. Gee, it sounds like someone else I know. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure OJ was able to get whatever he wanted in prison. He was like Paul Crew in The Longest Yard. So, I mean, what are the odds he has a huge cut on his knife hand the day of the murder? Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, just like, come on. Obviously, it wasn't. I mean, I'm alive and well. Where am I? I can read your mind, Kip. What am I eating for dinner tonight? Probably takeout. So I don't know if she's eating that good, to be honest with you. Yes, that is the Chandler doll. Um, I don't think so. But I don't know. I don't know. Um, You guys love trolling me with the Chandler doll. You know, all I can say is after Earl, it ain't Earl. Um, the Chandler doll will end up being SC only. I don't get that. Chandler doll podcast. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Hey, we got 41 people in here. Yeah, boy. Maybe the Chandler doll should just take over the stream. Uh, I don't know, Rob. I don't know. I don't know what she's up to. I mean, I know she moved to New York, she's dating someone else. Uh, but yeah, I only know that because people tell me, and I'm like, I don't want to know. One guy tried to tell me his name. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't care. So, it's not right. It's not the right time for the letter. It's gonna have to be a. Hold on. Hey, do you remember writing this? What an idiot! Lois is napping right now. Yes. Mr. Rogers, what if it's all death threats? Mossad involvement is my guess. And the OJ killing? Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Well, listen, as much as me and Chandler don't, yeah, she is a chipper, no doubt about it. Is Chandler a writer? Like, no, she's actually gets paid to write. Emmy nominee. What if Peter Chicken Man Brennan was Chandler? So Mossad involvement in the OJ killing? I don't think so. So the letter, yes, that is the letter. The letter is a letter my ex-girlfriend wrote me when she moved out. And it doesn't really quite add up with what she's told people. Dear Earl, it's not you, it's me. I'm maturing. You ain't far off on that, Karen Burns. I'm under the bottle. Wait, what? I'm THR bottle. I don't know what that means, Waver. I love you, but that is the only way. I have to give you guys an incentive. The only way I will ever read that letter is if we have 100 people in the stream. So now it's on you guys to maybe tomorrow night. If we have 100 people in the stream tomorrow night, I will read. I mean, the Chandler doll will read the letter. We have to get 100 people in the stream. So here's what we're gonna do. I rarely do this because, I'm random when I stream. Tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We must get 100 people in the stream, and I will read the letter. Now, when you go on BYB, Gavin, do not mention her name. Just say the letter will be revealed. Caught a few moments of that recast of the pandemic. It was obvious was time. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know how. I see what you're doing. Okay, I'll schedule it. I'll see you when I get off the stream. Uh, let me see if I can schedule that right now. Well, I have to do it on the phone, so I'll do it on the phone, and we'll see what happens. So once again, if we get 100 people in the stream tomorrow, the letter will be read in the beginning of the stream, and we will analyze it. Somebody else. Well, I mean, the pandemic was now in 2020. We were getting along very well. The first 3 years, from 2018 to 2021, were magical, and then the last 6 months it sucked. And I'm sure we could both agree on that. But we had problems, but they were fixable. But the way that there might have been greener grass for a week or two, and now it's shit brown. 100%. Our last meal was at Dan Tana's when she knew she was leaving, and she still took that meal. So I didn't have the opportunity. And then from what I've heard, she's told people Earl knows what he did, which would insinuate that I was cheating or something. I was not. Because believe me, if I was, she would know by now. So, yeah, you might be right on that. Well, it was a weird time, to be honest with you, at pandemic. But 2020, that's when we were at the height of our whatever. And, it's funny, I saw two mutual friend of ours last week, and one of them said to me, "Hey, have you seen Regina George lately?" And I didn't get the reference. I had to look it up. And apparently Regina George is a reference to the movie Mean Girls. And that's one of her friends calling her that. So, so let's go 5 p.m. tomorrow. The letter will be revealed if we have 100 people in the stream. I'm going to schedule it right now. Basically, I mean, I knew something was up the whole night. I could sense it. But I didn't know it was going to be what she did. But that's fine. She ain't ever going to find another Earl. Trust me on that one. Earl Skakel, over and out.